This podcast contains adult content and adult language. In no way does this reflect the opinions of other contributors of Good Morning Gloucester or homiecast. Your discretion is advised.
Good morning, Gloucester. Time for Alicia Unleashed. Talking about what's going on in these streets. Alicia Unleashed bitches.
Good morning, Gloucester. This is Alicia Unleashed. This is episode 89. We're almost there.
Wow.
We're almost 90, but then almost 100 at the same time.
Got a lot of work to do this year. A lot of work to do.
So excited. We're on location again.
I feel like we're homeless and we just go to other. Can we record at your house? We'll totally come and do a podcast. Yeah. Can we come to your house?
We're at the Kimberleys. We have B-Side.
What up?
And then we have Craig Kimberley.
What is up, gang? Thanks for having me.
Thank you for having us
Absolutely.
here. You were on a podcast at one point. I think it's lost or archived somewhere.
It's lost.
It's
Gone.
We only, and to
it's
be honest,
archived with the boss. It's on the internet, but
it's in the lost world.
But if you are tech savvy and you know what it was named and you know who it was with,
you might be able to find it. But we have it. So,
but
and actually, at episode 89, we only have maybe 3 podcasts that are archived or lost.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's it. And it's for a reason.
Yeah.
Yes. So awesome. Thank you for having us. So we are going to start with our hot plate like we always do, but then we decided because there's so much information that we're going to gain from you tonight that I think everybody would really, well, all the barbecue people, grilling people would really love to gain like all that information. So we're gonna go live.
Excellent.
Is that cool?
Where are we going live to? The blog?
I don't know if we can go live if I know how to go live to the blog. I was gonna go live probably on my Facebook, or we could go live on anybody's Facebook really, and just do a live and then.
Oh, we could do it on his and then feed it through ours.
Can we?
Yeah.
Okay, we can figure it out.
This
somehow.
is how
I want it to be more
right,
like a Q&A. So as we're asking questions, the audience can ask questions as well.
Oh, wow.
So that's what we were thinking, because we have a lot of knowledge to kind of like suck from your head tonight. Okay. So it's great.
Talking about meat, sucking, making sausage.
Yes. Amazing. Okay, so Bridget.
Yes.
What is happening? So every year we kind of talk about like new words and what's happening, what's added to the dictionary, or where things are going. So you're really going to have to explain this one. So avoid dick sand.
You got to avoid the dick sand. It's kind of like what happened with you when you got with Peter. You got caught in the dick sand.
Is this a real word?
It is. It's a real word.
And what does it mean?
It's when you get a new dick and then you just disappear.
You get sucked down. That's Hannah from the background. She loved it. So you get a new dick and you just
fade out. You just sink away.
In the
you get caught. You just get caught.
It's
like
quicksand.
Quicksand. It's the dick sand.
Okay.
And so, a lot of girls nowadays.
And the dick sand pulled you under. It'll pull you under.
It did. And then she moved to Amesbury.
Hannah's dying. And Hannah wanted to be discreet for like 5 seconds.
And Lassie nor the Duke boys are going to save your ass. You were fucking going down.
Yeah.
I did not see that one coming. Well played, B-Side.
Yeah,
well played. Well played.
So, ladies, don't get caught in the dick sand. Don't get stuck in the dick sand, still reach out to your friends, because when that dick breaks up with you, you're going to need your friends back.
You're going to need
them
people.
back.
Right.
Or when that dick becomes a dick, you're going to need someone to vent to.
Right.
Don't
ever forget your friends. And that's what I've always, I've had friends I've gone off the reservation, never hear from them again. But
because of the dick sand?
Apparently. Apparently that was the word the whole time.
There's finally an equivalent for being pussy whipped.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
There's finally an equal equivalent.
Wow. It only took till 2019,
To
to
figure that
get
out.
caught up in the dick sand.
Wow.
I heard that the other day, and
crash your car?
like Hannah said right before we came on, like her wig got blown off. I was shook. I was like, "Whoa!" I'm writing this one down. This is gonna be great for Alicia Unleashed. Couldn't ask for a better guest to have it on with too. Either. It's perfect,
So how is everyone in Gloucester doing? Bring your own bags to the supermarkets.
Well,
so yeah.
I use the boxes as much as I can there.
Really?
Because I have particular ones that I try to get, which is I think the Perrier box, the cardboard box. It has two sides. And I always use it for my recycling. And then I can take the whole damn thing out and put it on the street because it's a strong-ass box.
Genius.
Or those blue ones they have that pop open and have the shiny floor. I got one over there. Here, let me grab it and show it to you. These things are amazing. They become utility bags for everything.
The Market Basket one, the blue one with the
the totes.
Yep,
Yeah.
exactly. Those big totes. Yeah,
They're
So it's
super
got the
helpful.
foldable bottom. You pull that out. So we've got like 6 of these. I carry all kinds of. Look, there's barbecue stuff in
you
it.
can just do everything you want with it.
And they're super helpful for when you go to like people's houses for parties and stuff like that
what we
versus
use it
those
for,
other
too,
ones.
Yeah.
Bring hot food in it, and it doesn't tip over in the car. It's pretty sweet.
Right.
So farewell paper bags. I don't miss them.
Oh, I don't. Well, I always use the plastic. Don't like the even paper bags. But even when I was in Gloucester, I always used my reusable blue bags. But when I went to Amesbury, Newburyport Market Basket has been plastic free. So I had to learn to bring my bags anyway there. However, I can get by that if I want to go to Seabrook Market Basket. I'm only 10 minutes away. So if I want plastic for for dog poop bags or anything, that's not what everyone's like. But I was like, we need some. And Amesbury is not. It still has plastic, so we have a Stop and Shop there. But yeah, I mean, I always keep them in the back of my trunk and. So I had to learn. I had to adapt pretty quickly, but we know people on the island do not tend to adapt pretty quickly in anything.
In the bags, I don't know how they are this week, or if they have. I don't think they have handles still. But I got to tell you though, I did have, the first week when I didn't have my bags, or there was something in them, or it was a different vehicle, whatever. I did have 3 bag tear situations
with the paper bags. Yeah, I don't like them.
And one had eggs, so it was classic. Only those 2 eggs, but
why haven't they got the plastic bags? You can pay 10 cents and use the plastic bags. Why don't they have those yet?
Reusable?
I think they had them before, the reusable ones.
Yeah, and now all of a sudden they're gone. And then when I go into Market Basket or Stop and Shop, all they have is paper. Where the hell did the 10
I think it was
go?
all the. I have no idea
plastic,
if they fully just removed all of that, which was interesting. Because I was using those for meat, but I also have been so used to bringing my own bags since I moved back anyway, because I was used to it in San Francisco.
Right.
So there would be a few times where I'm like, that's all right. But a lot of times when I go to like Walgreens and whatnot, they're like, would you like a bag? I'm like, no, I don't need one. But I also, it's funny because the few Mix Fest concerts that I've gone to, WIC WIC gave out these little tiny strawberries, and they actually open up into tote bags.
What?
So they look like strawberries, and then when you
unfold into
open
a
them
bag.
up, they're tote
Super
bags.
thin bag.
Yeah, no, they're not that thin. They're pretty durable. And the last few times I've just been during my lunch, if I have to pick up some things, and I'm like, shit, I don't have my bags in my car, but I got my strawberries. I'll walk in there, and they're like, what is going on? And I'm like, here's my strawberries. Open
That's
up my
awesome.
bags. And it's been so good because it's been so cold, so my stuff can stay in the trunk, and it's like, stay in there, refrigerated.
Yeah, it's great.
But, a lot of times, too, like, Walgreens, would you like a bag? I'm like, that's what a winter coat is for. I got tons of pockets. No, I don't need a bag for, one candy bar and a prescription.
It's so funny when I go to, Newburyport CVS, and they have small paper bags.
Really?
There's no plastic. So what's Walgreens in Gloucester doing?
They do the small. It depends on the size of your prescriptions. Like last night, I had to hit up a big load of prescriptions for my mom. And, got her a pill organizer, too. And so I got a bigger paper bag.
Okay.
Because last night I'm like, yeah, I'm going to need the bag tonight. Because there was a lot of prescriptions.
So they have the paper.
They're
doing
But you know what's interesting is it's funny because CVS is like, oh, no plastic, but yet they got that ribbon dancer of a fucking receipt that you still get.
Yeah.
The thing that's still as tall as me. I don't understand it. I'm like,
And here's a coupon, and here's a survey. And,
you know what?
Yeah.
Use
You
the
got
CVS
1,000
app.
points.
Those coupons should actually just apply in the app, and you should be able to scan your phone. Or when you punch in your phone number,
Right.
that's when your coupon should apply.
Right,
Just
exactly.
like Walgreens does.
Right.
I mean, at this point now, Walgreens texts me when my prescription's ready, and I can pay for it before I get there.
Really?
Hey, I've been wondering about that.
Yeah.
Can you, when you do that, where do you pick it up at?
So you just go down there, and it's supposed to be the express lane, but let's
But everybody
be real.
stands in the express lane in Gloucester.
Yeah, pretty much they only got that one person there, but like you walk right up and you show them the little QR code, and they grab it for you, and you just bounce. But yeah, there's supposed to be an express lane, but if there's 2 cashiers, there's only supposed to be one person for express lane, but of course everybody's in that lane. I don't know how they...
All right, I'm going to try it. Next time I
Yeah,
get a
but
prescription.
it's so much
That's
easier
cool.
for me to just pay for it in advance before I get down there. This way I'm not picking up like candy bars and whatnot. It's like, nope, can't get those.
And you're all
gotta
good.
go. I gotta go. Bye.
Well, it's not going to deter me from candy
Oh.
bars.
Yeah, you know...
So usually we forget or we don't speak about people
No,
that...
we've been really good, so stop bringing that up.
Okay,
Stop
but
bringing that up.
we have such a record. I mean, it's been happening for almost
We have
4
it.
years. We're better now.
Are you 4 years into this?
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
almost 4 years into this.
Mother of Teresa.
See, it only took us 4 years to get us to almost 100, where homiecast has taken 4 years to get to 20.
No, homiecast is going to take 100 years to get to 20. We will be dead before we ever get to 20.
I mean, I heard the last one. I mean, a little bit. Yeah.
Was it bad? Was
Mm-hmm.
it,
No, it was not bad. Why was it bad?
no.
Listen.
You didn't there.
I do listen to bits
You didn't
and
listen. You
pieces.
listened to the
You
first
wanna know
2
why?
minutes,
You wanna
just
know
like I
why?
did.
Because my name is always mentioned. Go ahead and go back to the past 20 homicast, and,
know it.
and why don't you?
You ain't
I
nobody if
know.
I ain't hating on you.
I heard the last
Yeah.
the 7 minutes of the last.
I haven't
one.
been
That
a
was good.
spy in years, but yet somehow
And still
my
talk.
name is already
You know
in
why?
their mouths.
Because you got them rings. You got 90 episodes almost, and we can't even get a dozen in the can.
Yeah.
I don't even
These
know.
guys can't get together.
Yeah, I think we're like,
You guys get together all the time, every fucking Sunday. He can't pop up the microphone and like record something.
Seriously, you guys are together a lot.
Yeah.
oh man, that's a call out right there. Well, it's like, you know, whenever he plans it, then like everybody
against
cancels
us.
or something. It's really Chris is the one that seems to be the most difficult one to wrangle.
We
half
don't
the
miss
time.
him, trust me.
Yeah.
We don't miss him on the podcast. You can do it without him.
All right, well, we're gonna have to move on without you, Chris.
That's it. That's it. You have to get more than
Bye.
20 and 100.
Although
But
Chris has been begging for me to take over the podcast.
That's
I'm
okay,
like,
because he can't hear this, so
because-
there's
yeah.
that.
oh, that's just Chris. I hope you did hear that.
He ain't gonna
He'll
listen to this
listen.
shit.
He'll-
Listen to the
If,
show.
that, if my
Listen to
name's
shit.
on it,
He's
at all,
gonna
he's
comment on this
listen.
and be like, stupid podcast.
Yeah, put up a picture of the shirt, and he'll probably listen to it.
Yeah, there you go. So James Ingram, only 66. He passed a couple days ago, right?
He did, yeah.
R&B
Yeah.
superstar.
I know.
Why? Do you know how?
It was cancer.
Oh, okay. Damn cancer, man.
That thing is fucking...
It's everywhere. It's everywhere.
Brutal.
It's everywhere. It's everywhere.
I know. Obviously, my favorite song is Somewhere Out There. You know, but then there's also Just Once. Even though it's like, oh man, that is some Magic 106.7 David Allen Boucher shit. And he's my friend on Facebook, so you
He
know,
is?
yeah, he is. Your
Wow.
friend requested me, and I was like, are we for real? Like,
Wow.
is this really David Allen Boucher? Like, that, the David Allen Boucher?
Some
You never
quiet
know what he
storm
looks
shit
like.
Going on.
But, like, I actually asked someone who's a mutual friend, they're like, nope, that's legit him. I'm like, how? How did this happen?
It's amazing. Well, you're friends with other people on radio stations as
I am.
well. So
I am.
I think it all starts to intertwine once you're friends with one station.
But I'm
She's
not
got
friends
some
with them.
ins.
I'm not friends with them
That's
on Facebook.
true. I used to have
Oh,
a
okay.
clique in several radio stations in Virginia. I knew all kinds of cats.
Yeah, so then you just.
But I'm
kinda-
not
walking-
friends with them
walking
on
on
Facebook.
video.
I'm friends with them on Twitter and Instagram.
Okay. Well, it all finds. It's all social
all
media.
works
It all
out,
finds
but-
itself. It all works
Yeah.
out. So we saw recently that. So we know that Cape Ann Lanes was bought by
I heard a younger couple.
Oh my God, you just took the words
Did
right
I
out
take
of my
it out
mouth.
of here? The magic angle was that a younger couple.
The younger couple. They are putting a brew pub in there?
That's what there was a
I
petition
don't think
to
that means
sign
a
for it.
brewery. I think that just means a pub. Because somebody asked me about this the other day. Maybe it was Joey. And he's like, is that going to affect the brew pub? I'm like, well...
No.
I was like, the brew pub
We're
technically...
looking so far away.
Yeah, first off, the brew pub is actually a tap room and brewery.
Right.
Not a brew pub. This place is going to be a little brew pub.
Right.
Brew pub does not really...
And they were looking for signatures too, and I didn't realize
signatures
that.
for what?
They already
Why?
serve beer there, so I think
to
this,
sign for it.
This just means they're going to move some shit out of the way, and you can sit down and have a beer.
Yes, and
Right.
then to move some of those games to the other way to get the children away from the beer.
So yeah, it's funny because Joey and I think it was yesterday, or it must have been yesterday. We talked about this, and he thought, that's typically not the crowd. Traditionally has not been someone's going to go and buy a $6 craft beer,
But it
while
could
they're playing
be
pool or bowling. And I said, well, 90% of all the places that open now do cater to everybody else.
Oh, absolutely.
And so it gives broader stroke for more people to go out with families and their buddies and someone else or whatever and do something.
It gives us something to do because
Yeah,
I
Look at Cape
better than
Ann
going
Brew.
to buy-
They since they've opened, they've always been about the family. Look at how many games they have, and they welcome the children. I mean, so it's actually a lot more places are starting to be.
So
more,
I will tell you this:
a lot of the new breweries, a lot of the huge, big, giant, like independent breweries, like whether it's Oregon or Virginia or anywhere I've seen these, they have massive.
San Francisco's
places for
just like
families,
that.
Families, kids stuff.
Wow,
tons of stuff.
San Francisco and Oakland are like that.
It's a version of that. It's just it's it's going to be possibly every much a destination to go. I don't know. Maybe they have good food there.
I
bought cans
goal
of
list.
beer there, good bottles of beer there, and pizza. Bowling before. Mm-hmm. So it's not horrible now. It's not like it.
No,
it's not like a frozen pizza and a Budweiser.
No.
It's actually better than that. So it'd be great. I think it'd be awesome.
We did that at Thanksgiving. A few of the cornholers came down, and because they're like, "What is there to do?" I'm like, besides drinking in the winter, this is it. We went bowling. And we had a great time. There was a birthday party going on, so because we went a little earlier. But, if they were to move things around and kind of have like an area where adults or older people could hang, I think that would be a great spot. Like, because I don't want to just sit around and drink. I'd rather be doing things. Yeah. That's why I play cornhole.
Right. Yeah.
That's why I go and that's why I fucking travel.
And the axe throwing thing. And you can have beer and axe throwing. That's in Somerville now.
Yeah, yes. I was supposed to go do that next week, but they said that unless you reserve the room for walk-ins, it is so complicated for walk-ins right now because it's so popular.
Too busy. Yeah.
It's way too busy.
And there's only so they opened up this. Did you hear that they opened up this?
It's called
place?
Urban Axes in Somerville.
It's wicked popular.
So it's in Boston, Austin, Toronto, and it's Axe in Manhattan.
Just came to Boston.
Yeah. So they've been advertising for about a year. So and they've been building this place in Somerville. And it's axe throwing, so they have a whole bunch of, kind of like darts, they have a bunch of targets, and you go in with a professional axe thrower, and they're like a coach, and they come in with your group, and you get to throw axes for like an hour. You get to drink, obviously.
And yeah, I mean, what's not better than large, heavy, flying sharp objects and alcohol?
Well, that's what I wanted to do for my birthday, but no one was around because someone got stuck in the dick sand.
Can rent a room, but apparently you have to rent a room. So.
Yeah, well, you have to rent, and I was going to do that because just like I rented the Roller Palace, I was going to rent out a spot, but I was just like,
if they could combine the Roller Palace with the axes, we would have ourselves a fucking party.
Well, they made that into a storage unit. Yeah, the Roller Palace is now a storage unit now.
Did they build it yet?
Yeah, it's pretty much built for the most part.
Weird.
Yeah, it's very sad. But yeah, I was supposed to go with my girls next week to axe throwing, and they're like, yeah, a friend of mine just told me it is impossible to just be a walk-in right now.
Right.
Because it's so popular. And also, Somerville is so gentrified right now with all the hipsters from the colleges right there. And I've been to Somerville a few times with my ex, and I'm like...
a lot in Somerville. A lot.
I would probably get a week's free pass just for the way I look walking up to that.
That's true. That's true. We are going to wear flannels. We are going to go do something else, but we are going to wear flannels. That guy in front of
it'd be like a nightclub thing. Like, no, you come up here, man.
Anyone, listen, if you guys decide anyone does axes, let me know, because that is on my goal for 2019 besides shooting a gun. So
there you go. And you go with Kyle for that, no problem.
I've thrown axes and knives, so I'm all about it.
Okay, well, if you go and throw axes somewhere in the woods, I want to come with you too.
Yeah, make sure you get a hold of Kyle.
All right,
man, we can throw that shit in the backyard.
All right, let's do that during the summer. I teach you how to cornhole. You show me how to axe.
Hey, I got cornhole. We cornhole.
No, she'll teach you how to professionally cornhole.
Oh. I'm 88 in the state.
She's a professional.
Check you out. Bring
yes,
the fist
that's
up
right. Out of 676, motherfucker. That's right. I'm in the top 100.
I saw that on TV for the first time the other day.
On ESPN, yeah.
And I saw they're doing the spin and the drop in front. Man, I'm okay. Everybody's doing that move.
Oh, I know how to do the spin.
Okay, if that's all y'all
By the
doing.
way, someone texted me, Krista Wolf, who was like, cornhole's on ESPN. And I'm like, yeah, bitch, that's a replay from Saturday. I already know.
Oh, you were so late, Chris. Take the ice back to the
so
stove.
Late.
Oh. Bitch, I'm like, also, this isn't even the juniors. I'm trying to watch my friend that was on there, because he came in second from New Hampshire. Hudson, New Hampshire, yeah.
Nice.
He's 17 years old.
Wow.
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah.
So young.
So this is our last topic we're going to talk about,
Beethoven,
which is going to segue into our...
There's two more topics you got to talk about. That motherfucker and that one.
That's what I'm saying. I want to talk about
also got to talk about that one.
So Super Bowl, what are you doing?
Super Bowl, what am I doing?
What are you doing?
What am I cooking? Where am I going?
Yeah, what are you cooking?
Well, definitely going to my boy Barry Diesel, Barry's house, Sister Felicia's, a.k.a. Mr. Sister.
Sister.
I haven't heard that one yet.
Oh, Mr.
I haven't heard that one yet.
Mr. Sister.
And also, this year's League of Extraordinary Massholes champion fantasy football team, Barry. Oh. And I have two fantasy football leagues, and we give out our trophies at the Super Bowl. Oh shit, we give out our trophies at the Super Bowl. I gotta get last year's.
Remember.
Barry won both leagues. One's an auto draft. One's called the Auto Draft Kings, where we all, get assigned by the computer our teams in an auto draft, and then you have to deal with it from there on out. So yes, the cream finally rose to the top. Barry's been in the Super Bowl like 4 times and never won it. Finally won it. So I will never live this down, by the way. He'll let me hear about this for years. So going to his crib, and I'm gonna do a hot and fast brisket Super Bowl Sunday, but I'm gonna cook it here, and then I'm gonna put it in a cooler for about 3 hours. So I'll leave, take it over there, and it's just gonna be sitting in a cooler, percolating, doing its thing.
So we're gonna save that, because that is exactly what I'm gonna want to talk about in our. But what you just said is, I have so many questions.
Okay.
So we're gonna stop with that. Is that all you're cooking for a Super Bowl?
No.
Okay, what else are you doing? We just don't want to give away any of the secrets until we ask you all the questions.
So I'm also cooking on a new product. The thing that's sitting out on the porch.
I saw that when we
the big
come
stainless steel box is from Humphrey's Smokers and Supplies,
not an ad, but
not a sponsor. But no, Nicole and Chad, family owned. They're really awesome. So, anyways, I am gonna introduce that to the world on barbecue. It gonna go live on YouTube and grill a tomahawk steak.
Woo-hoo.
And maybe in the next section I'll show you what that looks like.
All right.
Yeah. So the tomahawk steak. It's gorgeous. That's a big old giant piece of dinosaur Fred Flintstone action.
Nice.
And where do you get something like that?
I got that at the butchery.
Okay.
And I think Danvers.
Yeah. Wow.
A few places carry it. There's an organic butchery on 114. I forget the name of it. They also carry those, and I've seen them in a few places. So yeah, I'm gonna do the brisket, some tomahawk steak action, and I don't know about sides or other stuff yet. Usually people bring a lot of shit there.
Yeah.
We tend to have a lot more food than we ever need down there.
Well, it just sounds like just what you have right there is just a ton of meat, and
and then
always...
Joey's gonna do some ribs and put some other stuff. I mean, it's
meat. It's a lot of meat.
Yeah, we're gonna have we're gonna get it all.
Right. Bridget, what are you doing?
I actually got tickets to Carson and Kennedy's big Super Bowl party at Kowloon's.
Yum,
for
yum.
Mix 104.1.
Where's that going to be? Upstairs or downstairs?
Upstairs.
It's going to be in the upstairs. They usually do.
So I'm
like
going to
the
have a
comedy.
big ass
Comedy,
projection screen, just like Barry as well.
That's right. We got a 12 foot. We got a 12 foot.
And it's
going
gonna
to
have a
table and our dartboard.
And it's got a photo. They're gonna have a photo booth and face painting, and all I gotta do is pay for booze. And I got an extra ticket, and no one wants to go with me. So
Tempting offer.
you want to come with me, Craig?
Then you drop
I got
a note.
contract.
She wants
My
to come
dog
with
is
me.
going to.
Frida's coming to Kowloon's. We're gonna get scorpion bowls for 4. Let's go, Frida.
She's got a Brady jersey.
Yeah, we going.
So
we going, Frida. We going.
be careful what you wish for, because you may have a secret listener listening and go, Bridget,
But
I'm coming.
I also got a tournament on Saturday too. So
That's okay.
Too. I don't know.
Oh, well, you can go.
There you go.
Be careful what you wish for, Bridget, when you're saying going by yourself. 'Cause
I
I'll
am
get you
going by
somebody.
myself because I'm going solo. I'm going to hang out with Carson and Kennedy and Annie Dow.
I know. When I heard that, I was like, oh, it's such a good time.
Yeah, I asked you a biffle too. Your biffle almost came with me. She was my first one.
Oh, really?
Yep. But her kids decided, I'm going to come home from college and hang out with you.
Yeah, that's what they do. Yeah.
She was like, the one damn time.
And that would have been cool, though, because she doesn't really watch us, which is why she doesn't really care, and she would have gone.
Huh?
Hey.
Yeah.
Ah.
So
Free to
she would
get
have
out.
been.
Oh, that's all right. Alicia's dogs do this all the time. So
Oh, no,
we're
no. My
so
dogs
used to
are
it.
way worse.
They're such assholes.
So
they
I'm
really
going to Barry's, but I was invited by my ex-husband. So that is interesting.
This is a trip.
Yeah.
He just wants you to see
is he bringing
my,
his lady friend?
my humiliation is what he wants you to see.
No, he wants to hang out with Peter. So that's why.
Hey, can't they hang out
Me too.
together and
We
you
do
just
too.
come with me?
I
would
want
be
to go
cruel.
and eat his food.
That would be cruel. We got food.
And I have Tyler.
Can't you get a plate? Like your ex-husband's gonna be there. His dad's gonna be there. His
I know,
new
I can't-
stepdad's
I'm
gonna
not-
be there. He'll be fine. There'll be parents. He's adults.
all the parents. All the parents
Can't you
will
get a
be
plate
there.
to go?
All their parents will be there. So that
What time's
is
the
what's
food
happening.
cooking? What time is the food gonna be?
Oh, the
eaten?
food's gonna be ready to rock at like 2 hours. We'll start in a few hours. Well, nobody's gonna be there, but like I said, it's gonna be sitting in a cooler waiting.
Yeah, which we
And
need to
then-
talk
When is
about that.
when's the meat gonna be hot, Craig? That's what I'm
The
getting
meat's
at.
gonna be hot right before kickoff.
Right before kickoff, not till 6:30.
God damn.
It's gonna be
Going
going.
live. We're basically gonna come down there.
You ain't
slap
helping
it
me,
on the
Craig.
table.
You ain't helping me, Craig.
Boom, boom, boom. Kick off. Then we start slicing. Who wants a piece of steak?
You ain't helping the cause.
Rare though, I hope.
Oh, you know it's rare, girl. That thing will be
That's
like.
rare, I hope. Oh, you don't like that Sauvignon? Is that what's your babe?
Yeah.
Do you like it rare too?
What kind of meat we talking, Craig?
Who knew?
All right, well, we're gonna take a short break, and when we come
I
back,
thought we
we're
were
gonna
going
be
to talk
live.
about Ariana Grande.
Oh my God!
Oh
yes,
my
thank you. This
God.
is why I have a producer.
That's
Excuse
right.
me. What am I?
My executive.
Executive.
She keeps saying
Producer.
producer.
My,
Like, all of a
my
sudden,
EP.
I see the whip on the wall.
My
It's
EP.
up there.
the
My
last
executive
two
producer.
podcasts, she's just like my producer. I'm like, excuse me.
My executive producer.
That's right. Don't you forget it, girl.
And
Sir.
it's so funny because apparently this story came out yesterday.
2 days ago.
And Bridget was like, oh my God, we're going to talk to Craig about it. And this morning, because I'm slow, and I'm just hearing about it, and I snapped Bridget, and I was like, Bridget, we need to talk about Craig. And then you blew your Facebook up today about it, the Ariana Grande tattoo.
And I was like, bitch, I already had this on the notebook yesterday.
And it was so funny. So obviously we don't have to ask you how you feel about it because you just went off and was like,
let's
this is
just
the
tell
best thing.
So let's just tell the listeners secret listeners in case they didn't know.
Okay.
So Ariana Grande had a new song that came out called 7 Rings.
Yes.
And she went and got a tattoo because that's her thing now. She got a tattoo, a Japanese tattoo that she thought was that had the symbol for 7
on
rings.
the inside of her palm too. Make that
Yes.
clear, like on the inside. And by the way, that photo of her hand looked like a little clay baby doll hand.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
It was like, dear God, had the hands done
'Cause she
anything
hasn't worked-
except take a selfie? I
Yeah.
mean, good
Yeah.
God.
Because,
There
you know,
was
she
it was
gets
just like a
manicured
little
all the
rubber
time.
hand.
Yeah. And it actually does not stand for 7 rings. It stands for a small barbecue grill.
It's amazing!
Such a beautiful
But
thing.
there has been an update. She has gotten
Had it fixed. It says
Yes.
now small barbecue grill and some French fries.
And some ribs. And some cold brisket.
I pray it's wrong again. She tried. Actually, no. She's already being told that it's still not correct. The interpretation is broken. Like it doesn't. She tried to like fudge it to make it work.
Stop.
And it's like us making up a sentence
And
that doesn't really exist.
And so on the fix as well, and the doctor has had to inject lidocaine into her hand for the pain.
Because, you know, all the nerves in your freaking palm of your hand.
Here's an idea.
This is why
Maybe
people don't
not
get tattoos here.
And also, you wash your hands a lot. It's going to eventually
come
wash
off.
off anyway. Here's an idea. Maybe don't do that.
So,
Money
at the
don't
end of the
fix
day,
stupid.
know what you're putting on your body and what it means.
Get a second opinion if it's a foreign language.
So I have a Chinese symbol of friendship on my foot, and I actually had a Chinese girl that I worked with come up to me and goes,
It says French toast.
it says, I love your tattoo. It says friendship. Did you get that with someone? I was like, oh, thank Christ that it means friendship. So that was
Because you will become a meme quick.
and that was 12 years ago.
Yeah.
So yeah, so
Good thing I
mean,
know a lot of Chinese people because they're like, yeah, that definitely says eternity on your leg. I'm like, thank God. Because it's not going nowhere either.
Oh my God! Just like Chris has 2
says
dolphins and a heart
maternity.
on his thing, right? The other day he goes, "I want to get something that says strength," and I go, "Isn't that what the 2 dolphins and a heart on your arm says?" He goes, "Well, I thought it said that, but no, it's 2 dolphins and a heart. So be careful of what you get." All right, so
We're going to pause for a
I
minute.
We are
forgot
gonna
Chris
pause.
had 2 dolphins for a tattoo.
2 dolphins and a heart.
Oh,
It
I
goes,
can't wait.
and then
I
a heart,
honestly-
and then oh, you've never seen it?
I'm going to be honest. I
it's
don't think
right
I've
here.
ever seen that.
It's on his arm right here. It's the first tattoo ever.
I can't.
Talia was just born, and he wanted something that
Craig
says
is so
strength.
excited for Sunday. He's so excited.
It's so cool.
Even though
And
he's
this-
walking in to the fucking lion's den, he is so excited for Sunday.
Push him too hard, he's
Oh,
gonna rip Chris's
and-
shirt off.
I've had a real fail happen. You know, I ordered myself a Todd Gurley official T-shirt jersey, not the jersey, but just a T-shirt.
Just the t-shirt.
And that motherfucker was costing me $50
Wow.
for the throwback T-shirt because
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
wearing their throwbacks,
Yeah.
and to get it here, and then all of a sudden, I just noticed I got a rebate from the NFL shop for the price of the shirt. They made a mistake, and I guess, or in other words, somebody else
right.
got the shirt, and so now I'm like, I have to scramble on what to put over top of my Tom Brady shirt. So either that, or I'm just cutting the nipples out on that thing right away.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh, and my other
Just
question I
Regina
forgot to ask-
George it. Just Regina George
Is
it.
it tying a knot?
No, Regina George is where she had the nipples cut out for Mean Girls with the tank top, and she just rocked it all day.
Nice.
And then all the girls did it anyway.
That's what I'm
As
doing.
well.
Do you have any tattoos?
Yes.
You do?
Don't you have like sleeve or something like that or close to it?
No.
But, like, you have-
I have one tattoo.
Oh, okay.
You have one? See, I didn't know if you had any, but I was like, when the whole Ariana thing, I was like, does he even, that made me think, does he even
She
have
snapped that today. She's like, does he have any tattoos? I'm like, I'm pretty sure he has a sleeve.
one tattoo to a sleeve?
No,
This
I
is
don't-
my wishing, because, barbecue, big old beard, beer, like meat. I figured you just had a sleeve.
tattoos. Nope, I have one.
No, I'm not that self-important yet.
And where is it?
Right here.
Oh.
Oh,
Oh.
okay.
This is very uneventful.
Very uneventful.
What is it?
It's basically a sun
Okay.
or a sunflower
Okay.
of sort. I was the very first band I was ever in. All the guys had this. This was like in my teens, 18, whatever. And so once I joined the band, I was like, well, fuck yeah. And they were like, yeah, when what's his name? Oh God, I forget the guy's name. When his brother gets out of jail, he's the one that made the gun. You know, he made his tattoo gun in jail. He's like, just bring a bass guitar string over, and he will hook you up.
Oh, good Lord.
And so it did not
like
look.
tetanus
What's cool about this one, because people can't see it, it's on my wrist, so it's like where your watch band would be. Is it really pretty much looked pretty close to that about 30 years ago? Like, you're like, oh, that's kind of fitting up. That's, you know, it had a little more detail in there, but that's pretty much what that motherfucker looked like. It looks like I could have done it, but probably better. But still, I don't see that. But like once a year when somebody asks me if I have a tattoo, I never ever see it.
I've never
and no one ever sees
seen that ever.
No one ever sees it.
I just never. That's so funny.
Yeah.
Now we know. That's far from a sleeve.
That is very far from a sleeve.
Yes.
When you also forget that you have one, you're like, oh shit,
snowflake
I got a tattoo.
Yeah.
That's right.
I got a dot on my wrist, right, basically. You know, it's just my sleeve persona. All I need is a
childhood tattoo.
Yeah, it was like it's a teenager tat. Yeah, once I was smart enough to go, oh, this isn't gonna fucking go well if you put those there. All the other dudes did. I mean, like dragons that look like, you know,
they covered them.
Just bad. They have all kind of a lot of homies got a lot of tattoos back then.
Yeah.
And then it got out of hand in the 90s. And once we moved to New Mexico, it was like, you know, I was a freak if I didn't have tattoos. But hell no.
I know, and you're kind of a freak now if you don't have tattoos. I'm so surprised.
Yeah, I'm going to get my head covered in tats, I think. I'm thinking about what... I'm just going to go off the deep end, you know.
I'm just going to do it.
Just going to, just start, you know.
Yeah, just get that sleeve right now.
A steak.
All generic looking tats
You should
that are random.
You know
so
what you should get next?
Steak and eggs.
Wait, you know what you should get next?
Steak and
Two
eggs.
dolphins with a heart on your arm.
I'm going to get every tattoo Chris has.
That means
Freak him out.
strength.
That sounds like a good bet I need to take up on him.
That's amazing. Very, very, very excited, guys, to go live with you.
Start it over. I think you're live now.
Here we are, we're live. We're Alicia Unleashed, episode 89, and we just finished our first half, so watch out for that episode 89 to drop tomorrow. This is with B-Side.
What up?
And Barbecue It, Craig Kimberley.
What's up? Thanks for having me back.
So this part of the segment is meant to be more of a Q&A. We're going to talk to Craig and get to know his new venture and what he's doing. And we are super excited. I can't wait to learn so much about what he's currently doing. And literally, please chime in at any point, because that's why we're going live here. We want to hear your questions along with our questions, and we want to interact. So this is why we're going live. So thank you, Craig, for being
thanks
here.
Thanks for having me. This is pretty awesome.
I'm so...
Your
I'm
89th
so
podcast.
89th. 89th.
That is unbelievable.
Yeah.
That is unbelievable.
Well, our goal is to get to 100 pretty
Hi,
soon.
Jill.
I wish I was
Jill's
100.
watching.
I wish I was 100.
Yeah, so, I mean, that's okay. You're right there, though.
I'll take 89.
You're right there. You're right there. So we want to back it up a little bit with Craig. He is the host and creator of this amazing show, Barbecue It, and we're obviously going to post how can you watch this show and how can you learn all about it, and this is going to be posted, but we want to start from the beginning with Craig a little bit, and how did he get to where he is today? I mean, obviously he's just like this amazing like film guru, but so you started years ago though with doing shows about food, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, I started filming food really as soon as I started having a camera with me all the time, a video camera. And back when I was going to University of New Mexico, when I kind of chased Hannah out there and went to school out there, and I was a music major.
So you got chased. I like it.
That's right. It was kind of like the dick sand, but something else. And
Gotta watch out for that dick sand.
So I went out to New Mexico as a music major and a photography major, and then switched over. Once I saw, I looked in the music school door. I went down in the basement in the department at UNM, looked through the window, saw the kids in there, and I was just like, no, this isn't happening. went to the video department. Then I changed my major like that day. And so then I worked for the school like right away. I started working in the video department. I got hired to run kind of like the video lab. And so I had access to cameras all the time, which means I had a camera all the freaking time. So when we would go home to Virginia, I would bring camera with me, video VHS, an SVHS. It was really sweet.
That's
really
high tech.
High class VHS. I would bring that back. We're talking 93, 94. I would take that back and film all these amazing meals that Hannah's family would prepare. And really got into like the cinematography of the food real time while people are doing it, not setting anything up, but like, can I get really cool, amazing angles? And then all the while you're hearing just the ambient audio of people talking, which is really kind of special because I've looked at some of this recently. And so that's kind of that's when the food and photography all kind of really started coming together then. And so to flash forward, to the next relevant time was I got hired by a website called How To Heroes, which is still a website, but they don't add any new content. HowToHeroes.com, number 2. And it's a food website here. It was in Cambridge. And so Lynn Vieira, who owns that company, and Rival Media hired me to come from Virginia to do their videos. And we were going to go from, standard format to HD. And, and this was still, this was now 7 years ago, strangely enough. So I was back to doing, that's passing what you were asking about was 2005. Okay. All right. So
that's fine.
Okay.
That's
so, I was trying to get to Massachusetts quickly. So,
take your time.
So in 2005, I started doing videos for the Virginian Pilot in Norfolk, Virginia, which we started a website called HamptonRoads.tv. And on that was basically, it started from scratch that they had nothing. They were like, well, can you make some videos? And like, what do we do from here? We want to put it online on our website. And nobody was doing this yet, and YouTube had just come out. So I think they thought, well, we'll just post videos just like that website YouTube's posting videos, but that's a bunch of other people. Who wants to watch that? Local people want to watch our stuff.
Right.
And right away I was like, we should be on that website.
Yeah.
Because everybody, that was like right at the beginning. I was like, that's where we should be. So I started basically a video department in HamptonRoads.tv, and that turned into hiring a second person and me getting a third person and then getting a boss, which ended up being a friend of mine, Les, to run it, to kind of wrangle us all. And then we started piping out, 15 videos a week. Like no one in the country was doing this. Wow. New York Times, LA Times, and Chicago, nobody was doing what we were doing, nor did they have like a little side thing called something.tv. People just now are getting up with .tv, and it's, quite a time, like 15 years later, whatever. So on HamptonRoads.tv, I had free reign to do whatever I wanted. And I started doing a lot of food stuff then on camera. I would go and review my favorite joints, like my favorite little hot dog cart.
Right.
Go check out, check out this chef. He's going to make this really cool dish. Let's go check him out. So I would do a variety of stuff, from music to food to like celebrities, anyone come in town, because we were talking earlier about radio station. I was buddies with people at 103 Jams. I knew everybody, over there. I knew everybody at Z104. I knew all these different people at different radio stations. And when they would get celebrities, then I would get access to some of them.
Right.
And either I would go into the studio, like FM 99. I would go there, so I got to hang out and have fun and joke around with Charlie Murphy.
Charlie Murphy.
Yeah, Charlie Murphy.
Fuck your couch.
It's a celebration. and just tons of bands and just all kinds of crazy stuff. Do whatever I want. So, so I was doing a lot of food stuff then, trying to do really stylistic, cool looking, and probably even a heavier shooting than we're doing with barbecue. Obviously because of the format. But then moved back to Massachusetts, where I was born. Started working for How To Heroes, like I was saying. It was a food website. Did that. We built a kitchen studio downstairs, lighting studio, all that stuff. Started doing in-house stuff instead of traveling. We were traveling to all the top chefs' kitchens in Boston and the whole area. And that was really cool. And then that company, she decided to close that down. She wanted to move to New York. and then I started freelancing, producing television shows that were on the Outdoor Channel.
Right. And yeah, you've done some pretty cool stuff.
And so I was doing the Monster Fish for 6 years.
Yes.
Trev Gowdy's Monster Fish. I was direct shooting, editing, and aerialing on that show. So I was doing kind of like canning an entire show when I did them. And then a couple of other shows he had, I did stuff for. And all the while being obsessed with like getting better at cooking and smoking.
And wanted to get back at food, right?
And that was
that's
going
what
around
you
the back. That was going around the background the whole time.
Right.
You know? So, so that's kind of like the video side history of it.
Yeah.
That's how that went.
So now so how did you decide that Barbecue It was what you wanted to start, or like how did all this was brewing in the background, but what made it say, okay, this is what I'm going to do, this is what's going to be called, and this is how I'm going to do it?
Well, those were all...
It's a lot of questions. Let's unpack all of that.
Unpack all of this. Hang on. Woo! I'm going to take a sip from my sponsor, Backlash.
And they're in Boston, right?
They're in Roxbury.
Roxbury, right? And they've been open how long?
God, like 4 months, 3 months maybe.
Yeah, so they're very new.
Just about, they're very
new. And your video that you did for them was phenomenal.
Amazing.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I do.
Good job.
We'll give them a shout out. Gives me beer, and I give them videos.
Hey.
Yep, and we can find. So we will post Backlash, all of their socials and all of their everything, their website.
They're probably going to be like, "Why did we just get tagged in this?"
And I got to tell you, for a new brewery, for a new tap room, and their tap room. I mean, they don't serve food. They got like chips and pretzels, but all the food trucks will come, and also people will go over there.
Oh, God, I love a good food truck.
Yes, but the interior, and there's a food truck company behind their building.
Amazing.
Perfect.
But
awesome.
their interior, it's like, it's the most unpretentious, just the most coolest, laid-back fucking interior of any bar to open in a while, / tap room. And that's why they won, like, best new, I think, brewery.
Wow.
One of the big, websites in Boston, they did a big...
So on top of the axes, the next time you guys go on a field trip, I'm in.
I'm going to Backlash, yeah.
All right, cool.
Could be tomorrow.
That's awesome.
All right.
Could be tomorrow.
Could be any day.
I'm going to a brewery tomorrow. Hey!
Yes. So
what am I unpacking all this out?
Yeah, like where did this come from?
Oh boy.
Gosh, it was...
Chris DeWolf is watching.
There we go. What's up, Chris?
No pressure. Tom
pressure.
Brady's son.
So as far as like grilling, cooking on a grill and grilling,
right?
Somebody had asked this recently, and I had to really think, like, okay, when did it actually start? Me and my best friend, growing up and in high school, one of my best friends, I really had two best homies, and one of them was my buddy Greg Roper, and another buddy at school, Craig Clements, and a couple of... They would come over to my house on the weekend when my parents would go out of town to their boat, in Pungo, and sit at the dock. And that sounds like some big, like we're some, like, big rich family, went on like that. And so we had a gas grill at the house, and so we would all hang out, drink beers, and try to see who could make, like, the biggest, craziest cheeseburger.
Yeah.
And we started having like food contests and like making ridiculous, and then putting ridiculous things on it. And that was just like a kind of,
Can I ask you a question about cheeseburgers? Mm-hmm. What's like the best secret ingredient to put in a cheeseburger? Like in the meat. Like what is one of your favorite things?
Oh, I don't ever put anything in the meat.
Nothing like Worcestershire, egg,
no,
breadcrumb, nothing?
No.
None of that?
No.
You just straight up meat.
The secret to a really...
How do you get it to not crumble?
The secret to that is to have the fresh chopped or ground stuff and not pack it too tight and not touch it too much.
Not press it down, right? Don't press it. Don't squeeze the juice.
It's an art between making something too packed and tight, and then it's going to be too chewy versus something falling apart.
Okay, now maybe this might come up in questions later, but do you do videos for the simple man and woman? For grilling.
Yes, there's a bunch of just regular
intro
stuff.
Stuff.
Yes, there's a bunch of intro stuff. And what you're talking about, like, or you had mentioned briefly, was even like there's stuff coming up about... I have written, I think, about 120 items as not counting a grill, in possession that come into play when you're barbecuing and smoking.
Wow.
But I will tell you, when you ask, some other stuff about what's necessary to get started with.
Right.
It's ridiculous. There's a tremendous amount of stuff to it.
Yeah. Yeah,
so
because there's a lot of research that goes into this. There's you just can't just get a Weber grill and be like, here we go.
No, you can't.
Like,
you have to research. And you got
to do a little bit of
do something,
planning.
Yeah, I mean,
right?
you can with a little bit of research, getting on YouTube, watching videos, you can change your food and your game quickly.
Okay.
So that's where it started. Was then so then really. Not a whole lot, except for I did work at kitchens, worked in grills, worked in restaurants, until I got married in 2001.
Yeah.
And I found out that there's this
You
thing
locked her down, didn't you? You locked that down.
Chasing.
You pulled her out of the Dixon and locked it down. Trapped her.
I don't even have a ring. Anyways, trust me, I'm married. So I found out that you can have there's a registry, which to me is fucking unbelievable, that you can sign up and say, I want these things, and then people get them for you. So that was like,
I know. I just bought a crock pot for somebody today. Sorry, Jeff.
That blew my mind. So of course I went to Sears. I was like, can I go anywhere I want? Yeah, I was like, of course. So went to Sears and got saws and all kinds of stuff. One of the things I got was a patio caddy grill, which is this little small, like 14-inch round gas grill with a little mini tank, and the thing was phenomenal. And I cooked the shit out of some chicken on that grill, honey. Did I not? I cooked a lot of stuff. So I really started getting into whatever we could grill on that. And then my stepfather, who owned some properties, said, hey, he called me one day, which is like never, ever. Like, he's called me like 4 times in a decade, and he said, there's this grill thing over here at this property. It sounds like something you're interested in. Do you want to come check it out? And I went over there, and it was a smoker.
Wow. This is a grill thing. You might want to check this out.
And it was an offset smoker. And so I showed up. I went and got it. I was like, oh yeah, I'll take that.
Right.
Because I knew like that's next.
Right.
And there was no YouTube yet, so with that, I was just whether TV, books, whatever. I think just there's a side you put the fire on. I kind of think just started doing it. Started figuring it out, and I called it black pepper. I had a car.
Awesome.
I had a car that I crashed, and the license plate was black pepper on it. And so one of the times that I'd smashed that car up and had to rebuild it, I put the license plate on the grill, and that's where it got the name Black Pepper.
That's amazing.
And so when I moved to Massachusetts in 2012 or 11? 12. I had to leave that behind to my buddy Mike Camden. And Mike, who's a master mechanic, rebuilt it.
Wow.
Rewelded it, saved black pepper, and cooks on it to this day. I think he has now cooked through it, and now it's to the point where he might have to give up on it. So I got here, and then I did not have my smoker anymore. And now I'm pretty sure, this is... So we decided we moved in with my Aunt Joan.
Yes.
Aunt Joan, as everyone knows. We moved in with Joni and lived with her, and she always throws big parties. And so when we moved in, we just made them bigger parties, and all our friends and her friends. So big parties, and I wanted to smoke some ribs, and so I bought a smoker box, put it on a gas grill. I figured out how to do smoked ribs on a gas grill really well. Yeah. And so she had a brand new grill, and I smoked the shit out of that thing. I stuffed aluminum foil everywhere to the point where I messed it up. Smoke, everything where smoke could come out was just crushing this thing. Right. So her and Hannah went and bought me for my birthday present a new, bigger side-by-side smoker. Wow. And then it was on. Right. And then we started having parties. I started cooking ribs and pulled pork on that. Right. In 2012. And
that must have been, so I didn't realize that you moved here, right? Because I met you just then. So I didn't realize that I just met you. I just met you at the same, and I was coming to those parties. And I guess I didn't realize that you literally just moved here. You were already coming to the restaurant, and we met you, and my aunt was already friends with Aunt Joan, so she was already going to those parties. And so it was really funny. So I had no idea that we really kind of met you when you moved here.
Yeah, it was really awesome. Quick. All of a sudden, I was like, I'm back.
Yeah, that's
Joe,
awesome.
My new friends that I just met that I don't know.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So, and plus,
And also, you can make biscuits and gravy.
Yeah,
Yes,
you can make a
I
hell of
can.
biscuits and gravy,
Yes.
and that makes you
And
feel
it made you fried chicken for your the party that you had.
damn Skip.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, then I got that smoker, and it started inviting Joe, all my boys over, and we're,
Right.
we started to check out, how'd you do that, and then Joey got excited, went and got a new gas grill, and started doing stuff on that, and then he got into the stoke grill. It was like, yo, check out these stokes, man, because I was doing charcoal in my smoker too. It was like putting charcoal in there and cooking on it.
Yeah.
You can do that too, direct. Which was kind of messing it up. But, and I was like, yeah, man, that stoke's a great idea. Look at that interchangeable stuff. So I went and got a stoke. We're going back and forth talking about those.
I remember because I have one of his stokes. So when
So
he
you
was
got a
upset,
hand-me-down stoke. There's
so
a lot
yeah,
of
I got
people
the
got
orange
hand-me-down
one. I got
stokes.
the orange one.
A lot of people got the
Yes, I
hand-me-downs.
did. So I got that. Okay, and then we move on.
Yeah, and so there's like a lot of photos of us cooking on the stokes
Yeah,
and stuff.
yeah.
And then it's funny because when I was in Virginia, one of my buddies saw what I was doing with my smoker, and he went and bought a Weber. He bought a 22. He bought this little smoker side kit and all this stuff. And I thought, man, that's pretty cool. But I don't need another grill. I've got this big old smoker.
Yeah.
Those were the days. I don't need another grill.
Yeah.
I never say that anymore.
No.
So then Joe got these stokes, and I got a stoke, you got a stoke, and we're ordering all the parts, and he's blowing up with it. He's trying everything. And then he found like a used Performer online, and that just cut us loose on the Webers. As soon as he was like, dude, check out this thing's $400 normally. I just found it for like 50.
Right.
And I was like, oh shit. We didn't know that you could get old school nice Webers for next to nothing. Because
Right.
Craigslist people, and now Facebook, people just, like,
They just
get
want
this
to
thing
get
out
rid
of
of
my
them.
garage.
They don't know what it is.
Yeah.
They don't know the value.
And then some of these, like, of course now we're obsessed, and we bought, dozens and dozens of grills. But you can find a $400, $500, $600 grill on Craigslist for $50 sometimes.
Yeah.
And it's worth that much. And we
Right.
cook on them.
Right.
So he got all into the Webers, and I, of course, kept grilling and smoking. Then moved here to where I'm at now. So we've been here actually since 2012 also. So we were down on Washington Street, came up here on top of the hill. And once I got up here, I started looking for a Kamado. I wanted to see what's up with the green egg.
Oh, right.
But I didn't want to pay $1,000 for that. Is this going?
right.
Is this
Is that-
way too drawn out long?
No.
Okay.
But wait, the green egg is like $1,000?
Oh yeah, they get real expensive.
But why?
So
is it a smoker and a grill? Is that why?
Well, you can do anything with it. You can bake, you can sear, you can smoke, you can do
okay.
anything with
Okay.
Kamados. They really are amazing, and they're big, heavy ceramic.
Oh, okay.
So I started researching those, and I wanted to get into those. I was like, I really want to. Something just started. It really. I don't even know what was causing this to be. Honey, do you know you can pipe in at any time? Because me, I'm like, I can't remember.
Because a lot of people talk about the green egg.
So like I get focused on something, and then like I'm
You
gonna
don't stop.
go down this trail and want to master it.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
He's done it since I've known.
But ever since I was a kid, it's how skateboarding, soccer, anything.
Right,
I was like,
yeah,
I'm gonna, this is I'm gonna be a pro skater. I'm gonna play pro. So, but I got obsessed with it and the process and everything. So I'm looking for a Kamado. I found a generic one called Vision, which you would find at Home Depots or online at Home Depot, and they're like $600 and compared to like the $1,500 green egg, and I found one used for about $300. The guy used it one time, didn't know what the fuck to do with it.
Right.
His wife bought him a pellet cooker, and he's like, get rid of it.
Right.
So I just scored a $600 Kamado with a stand. I was fucking stoked. And then I started learning all kinds of stuff on that, and that changed my cooking.
Now, how did you
Barbecue.
learn about this stuff? Like, just going through YouTube? Is that how you learn about things?
Yeah, TV, YouTube, books, trial and error. A lot of it trial and error. I never looked up, like, say for rubs, I never looked up what everybody does for rubs. I just started because we like to cook, and we've cooked, for a long time, and Hannah and I as a couple obviously are like wicked fucking, for lack of a better term, foodies.
Yeah.
But we're serious about our food, period. And so I just started experimenting. Like early on, I made like I probably like made. I've told people I've made better ribs sometimes. I think on a gas grill with a smoke box than I've had in 90% of the restaurants I've been in.
Right.
Because I mastered a technique on a gas grill. That's what started me doing rib.
Not to interject, Dana Blatchford says, "Go Rams."
Oh yes, Dana. I got that Rams hat in the mail, baby.
Fuck
It's
you,
coming.
Dana.
It's coming.
See if you get to park in my driveway. Just kidding. How's your wrists, by the way?
Rookie of the year.
Yes.
Congratulations, Saquon.
So how did you get to where you are now with Weber's, and is that what you're sticking with right now? Is Weber's?
No.
how did
All
you-
kinds of stuff. So,
Okay.
so how did we get from? Anyways, that turned into buying lots of different grills.
Yeah.
Got a
Trial and error, yeah.
got like a what I call the meat swing back there above the fire pit.
A meat swing. Hold on.
I knew that was gonna be a trigger for you. So I throw it out there.
That sounds like a position for me.
It's a Russian meat swing.
Oh.
So anyways, I
haven't had a Russian.
A dear friend of mine, Catherine, gave me the Russian meat swing.
Are you okay with this, Hannah?
Yes, she's my best friend.
Okay.
I would say she's one of my best friends too. Anyway, she gave me this great thing out there that we've cooked some, and wait till you see that thing on the show this year. We've cooked some great steaks on it. But no, so I started buying up some other odd grills and weird little things, and different Webers, and started finding neat stuff. I'm like, I want to cook on that. I want to try on this, and so somewhere along the way, I made the statement of a YouTube channel. Because after all these years of all these, so for the HamptonRuns.tv, just to put it in perspective, I probably did 400 to 550 videos. I don't know how many videos. I did a lot of videos in a very short, in like 4 years. Did a ton of videos. So at some point, I think somebody said, well, why don't you do videos of your barbecue?
Right.
And in all those videos at .tv, I had to be in 95% of those videos. So like being on camera was something I was forced into.
Right.
And had to be, pretty much silly at times in order to cope with doing it.
Right.
Sometimes. So somebody brought up the idea of, well, why don't you, do this barbecue stuff? Maybe it was Joey. Somebody said, why don't you do this?
Right.
And I thought about it. Well, if I did it, what would it look like? And I just...
You mean to tell me after all this filming of other people cooking food, you were like, how do I do this?
Well, I never thought about the idea of there was something extreme about me saying I'm going to just be in front of the camera making food.
That's fair.
And Hannah was for it. I mean, obviously she was supportive. She knew I could do it. And then my buddy Ted Reed, he was really, I think, the pushing point, and he's also financially helped me make the thing happen. He said, are you going to keep talking about this, or do you think you're going to do it?
Yeah.
He was like, you make really good food. Because he was coming up, I was cooking, he was coming up the hill a lot, and we were cooking out a lot and having a lot of food, trying all kinds of stuff, experimenting. And joking about, how Smoking Jim's was going on. He's like, are you going to fucking do it or not?
Right.
And he was the final push, know. And then he backed me and said, okay, what do you need to get off the ground to do this?
Right.
It's obviously going to take away time for me doing my regular work to do this.
Right, of course.
So build a deck, build a stage, basically.
Right.
Build what I call Barbecue Stadium. Build the 2 Weber
Stadium,
console.
I love it.
And there's a lot to go into get the damn thing.
There is.
So,
yeah.
And I know TV shows and I know how to film food.
Right.
So then came the third thing. Okay, then let's do it.
So how'd you get the name?
So after my research, as you said, on YouTube, researching everything, and there's one giant on YouTube for barbecue, and they're called the Barbecue Pit Boys.
Yeah.
And they've been around for 12 years.
Yeah, I've seen them on their
and they don't talk on camera.
Competitions.
They don't talk on camera.
Yeah.
And the guy films and he narrates it. Oh, let me get in there and put that steak on the grill.
Yeah.
And it's just really nice and comforting, homey. It's just really easy to watch. And next we're gonna put the steak. Oh, that's good.
Right.
And they give the thumbs up. So, anyways, they're giants. Barbecue Pit Boys.
Yes.
BBQ Pit Boys.
Yes.
Is how it's spelled. And so then I started looking at all my favorite people, and like Malcolm Reed, How to Barbecue Right, How to BBQ Right is how it's written. Mm-hmm. And to me, Malcolm Reed is really kind of like my favorite. He's like the best, definitely in the United States, the best, and just one of my favorite. Then there's a guy, I think he's in the Netherlands or New Zealand, just spacing me right now, called Pitmaster X. Found him as I was building my stage and stuff, and was like, oh cow, this guy is doing what I envisioned this can be. Okay. And then I saw him for the only model I found was this guy. I was like, he gets it. Right. And he was well along. They've been doing it for a while. Looks really good. I mean, he started from filming his hands and making recipes. Right. So I looked at all those, and then I thought, well, I want the name BBQ.
Right. Because barbecue. That's what you're right.
I didn't want anything that wouldn't sit next to some of the top names. Right. Eventually, I know it takes time to get there. Yeah. And so I think I was sitting with Hannah, and I was like, I've got to come up with a name. It's got to be BBQ something, BBQ. Right. And she said, it. Yeah. Yeah, it was like BBQ it. Yeah. I was like, BBQ it.
And then that's
it. Barbecue it.
It's awesome.
No, barbecue something. I was like,
right,
barbecue
exactly.
Something,
it doesn't have
something.
to. Right, it doesn't have to. It can be it.
Yeah, and it was just
that's it.
And
God, the worst with Hannah. What?
It's just like that. All of a sudden, you're like, yeah. I was like, ooh, that like it hit me right away. I was like, that. Yeah, that. I said short. I said it's got to be short. BBQ. Right. BBQ something. She goes BBQ, and then she said it. Right. Like, that's about the shortest word I know. Right there.
That's it. That's awesome.
That's how it came to be. So that's how the name came. And then I had to just get popping.
So did you, okay, so when you had the vision for this, did you want it to be instructional at all? Did you want it to show like just what you could do? What is it that you were envisioning of how this was going to
go? Well, I definitely envisioned like a huge scope of testing all kinds of stuff. Okay. Which coincidentally has just gotten really popular as I'm building up to kind of really debut in the spring. But the testing of all kinds of stuff is endless. I mean, endless. And I had already been doing a little bit of that. Like, hey, I wonder, what does this charcoal do with it? Or this lump do this and regularly do that? Is brining a turkey for 24 hours versus
really?
dry brining it for 2 hours? Is it really different? So a lot of these things started really, and I'm a bit of like a science dork, inventory kind of person. I'm like, I want to test anything I can. Right. Start coming up with ideas. And so I came up with hundreds of like things I can do and realized I can do a ton of stuff. Right. But first I have to build like a body of like 20 videos of recipes. Right. And just like kind of sort of not the regular stuff, but just at least get going to show people, all right, let's make this. Let's make, brisket's coming out this week. Right. Burgers, that sort of thing. Common stuff coming out. Venison might have been adventurous or lamb early on, but wanted to do something a little different because there's a lot of great videos on how to fucking cook everything. Already out there. Right. So what's my spin going to be? And that's why I made the 2-console table with the 2 Webers. Right. Is that I could A and B stuff right there in front of you. Yeah. And there's no denying it. And and so now I'm starting to even put a little got a little regular analog clock over there with hand dials. I'm going to do for long cooks. I'm doing time lapses with temperature gauges and that to show people real time. I'm not going to lie and say, oh, so I kept a steady temp for 6 hours.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
No, there it is.
No, that doesn't.
This is what happened.
Yeah. So and you live in New England, so there's no such thing as a steady temp.
Exactly. Right. Well, that's what you're going to see.
Hours,
I just did a brisket in 5 hours out here in 24 degrees. Actually, it started at 14, 26. Went up I think to 30, but pulled it off and did it in 5 hours. And man, that thing was steady as a hell. So it can be done. So yeah, I wanted to do a mix of recipes, experiment, and do stuff on camera. It was a weird balance in my head of, okay, I'm going to do things that are experimental or first time. Like I did the prime rib recently for Christmas. I've never done that prime rib, but I have to make sure I know exactly how this. I didn't have time to practice that prime rib. Normally, we would practice something.
Well, right,
And
exactly.
so a lot of
but
times, I have
that's
to
a
just
lot of
go
time.
out and make it.
Yeah, exactly.
You just have to make it live on camera.
Right, exactly.
So honestly, like my episodes, although they aren't live, are literally live.
Yeah.
Like I'm
Like,
not.
this
I'm
is
not,
what's happening.
Yeah, I'm not going back and redoing tight shots and cutting shots. During my episodes, it's live 3-camera edit.
Right.
And that's what happens.
So how long is a usual episode? Do you not like to make it like longer than a certain time, or?
Originally, I thought like 3 to 5 minutes would have been max, and everything's turning out longer.
Yeah.
And which is I'm fighting now still to try to get things shorter.
You want it shorter?
And the thing is, people are watching the longer ones.
Is people's attention span?
Well, it's weird. You're a balance betwing people that just give me the recipe and a balance
Yeah.
of people like, hey, I want to watch this.
That they want
take
to
my
know
time
the
and learn
process,
this
and they
technique.
exactly.
I didn't think that would work until I started realizing I'm watching 8 and 12-minute videos that I'm very interested in.
Yes.
So, when we started HamptonRoads.tv, we said no one's going to watch past 30 seconds to 2 minutes.
Right.
That was the window. You might get them for 30. If you catch them past 30, you might stay to 2. So that's changed.
Yes,
That's
and because
changed.
you're doing something that's technique-wise that people want to learn. They want to see that technique, and so
Now-
it's going to be longer.
When you're doing a video and someone like comments and whatnot, or like not necessarily comments, but they also like question where it has a little bit of kind of like feedback, like, hey, I didn't see this process, like how did you do this? Do you take that in and like, you know what, maybe the next time I do a video I'll include that.
Oh, absolutely.
And kind of like do an adjustment, kind of like the way her podcast started in the very beginning. I wasn't here.
And then they said, please get
And then-
B-side and make this fucking show.
Not necessarily. I came in and
Please
kind of...
get someone other than Alicia.
I kind of was like,
get her talking
you
more.
might want to go in this direction.
Little
Let
shove.
me help you.
Yeah,
And then I was like, hey, let me give you a notebook. let me erase.
That's a magic. That's another episode.
Let me give you some guests to talk to. Let me give you some content.
Hey, now, she wasn't that close.
No, it wasn't that she was clueless. It was just a lot of we were bitching a lot, and so I was like, let's get some fucking content. But like,
That should be your next, your next podcast should be, we were bitching a lot.
Yeah.
That should be
Episode
the name.
90.
Yeah,
We were
we were
bitching a
bitching
lot.
a lot. I mean, we do
I love
when
it.
it's just us because we can't get a guest to like schedule with us. But
Hey, I'll come on every other week, whatever.
But what it is like, when you kind of get a question, you're like, oh, that's a really good fucking question. You know what? I'm going to start including that in my videos because that might be helpful to someone that may not know or may not know. Like, do you start including that? I know you've only got a few, like, you've got like 25 videos in, but like, do you ever get that kind of feedback?
Yeah, well, anytime anybody comments on
Fuck you, Dana.
on YouTube or on Facebook. So the YouTube stuff I'm really not pushing or like I'm not linking to that and that sort of stuff. It's just living alone over there. And Facebook's what I'm focusing on because you upload to Facebook and that's where you can track it. But on both platforms, I try to get back, and there's actually so many different layers of stuff. Sometimes it's really bizarre even with Facebook to find things, but I try to get back to everybody that makes a comment or asks a question
Right.
at all times. And then try to constructively, like if they say, I did have one person actually that was like kind of shitty about the way I was roasting my peppers, my green chilies. I've been roasting green chilies since like the freaking 90s, to be honest with you. And some dude was like, yeah, you burned them chilies, and he said all this stuff. And he was kind of like douchey, and I blocked his ass from like Facebook. I'm like, dude, I don't have time for that.
Yeah.
Like, you can come in and say, yeah, your videos suck, I'm going to leave that up. But like, so this is something like, you can't tell my viewers that I don't know what I'm doing.
Right.
So I got rid of that crap. But anybody that asked, and it was just like so early on, I was like, what? Whack!
Yeah.
So
You're right.
now, a couple months in, I would have left it. But yeah, anybody that pipes in, I get back. And then some people have said stuff like, hey, I'm going to try this out, and hey, let me know how it goes. Send me some pictures. Let me know. Give me some. And then people have gotten back, oh, I just made these. I'm a hero at the game today at my house or something.
That's
like
awesome.
And I'm like, I don't even have 1,000 subscribers, and I was just like, that's a freaking touchdown.
Yeah,
for me.
that's awesome.
perfect.
I just made the connection.
Right.
I just went from the tremendous amount of work it takes to make an episode out here You know, between, lights, camera, action, there's a lot that goes into it. It's not like, a lot of dudes do just set up a camera and cook. And then they move it around and they edit it, and they get more hits than me, and they've been around, and they do good stuff.
Right.
But, I do a TV production.
It's a slow burn.
Yeah.
It's the slow build, though.
Oh, and
That's the thing.
I'm enjoying the crap out of the slow build,
Good.
trust me. Because I know that all this is about to steamroll because of the mode of production I'm about to put myself into. Once we get into spring.
Let's talk about that.
The production.
Let's talk about that.
So Peter's your biggest fan. Let me just put that out.
Yeah,
there.
and I like
that is sweet.
No, he watches everything that you put out, either on YouTube, Facebook, same thing, doesn't matter. He watches them all. And he really looks at, because he's been grilling and smoking years before, and then he stopped for, a long time. And then recently, he has the charcoal. Now we have the charcoal, and now we have the gas, and now he's doing the snake method, and now he's got. Oh no, it's all about, and YouTube is his life. That's how he learns everything. So, but he watches everything that you do, and I'm just like, this is just amazing. So,
he's gonna be part of the Weber family.
Well, he really is really good. His ribs are probably.
Is he part of the delegation? Does he have his delegation hat yet?
Well, I told him, but he's not from Gloucester,
right behind you.
So.
It's right there.
I was like, the Gloucester, whatever. But anyway, so I mean, he has. Yeah, so I mean, it's just been awesome. So so what I was going to ask you about is the brisket, because that is his nemesis, because he did do it a couple of times, and you have to bring it to this temp has to melt away the meat in order, because it can be the fat, and if you get something that's too fatty, not enough fat, brisket is hard. It's not like a rib where you can just put the rib on
until you cook it. Yeah.
Until you cook it, and he does with his ribs. I mean, you've done the dry rub, but then he at the end does. I like the barbecue, and does it right at the end. And he has some. I love you.
Okay.
But Peter has some of the best ribs I've ever had, because his meat
you
is to die for.
Oh, you're gonna do it like you just see what she just did. You see what she just did. So you have not had my ribs. You ain't had my ribs proper, by the way, ever.
Oh,
you ain't never been here proper from the ribs. Sorry, Peter. Sorry, Peter, but we can set school up and you can come get some proper ribs.
Oh, can we have a BBQ off?
Them. Oh, we can BBQ it off. Trust me.
Yes.
So
I'll bring cornhole boards. We'll do this in the spring.
I gotta
Let's
say,
do this.
too.
Thaw this shit out.
Rib off.
You do? You got cotton boards? I'll bring my bags, my ACL bags.
You bring your bags up. I won't say that.
I'll bring my bags.
So is this a thing with the brisket that you have, because it plateaus at a certain point?
Yeah, it's called
and
the
then,
stall.
Yes.
It's called the stall.
And then you talked about this brisket that you stop and then put it in ice and then bring it back to life again.
Oh, that's right. This is
like
the Super Bowl.
When I say put it in cooler, it goes into a hot cooler.
What?
So here's
All
my
right,
process.
hold on.
This down.
Let's pause for the live people, because there are people watching.
Okay.
Explain again for the people that are not listening, because this is a podcast as well.
And it's live.
What are you making for Sunday Super Bowl at Mr. Sisters? Misters?
Well, what I'm bringing, I'm going to make a hot and fast brisket on the Weber 26.
A hot and fast brisket.
So instead of spending 13 to 14 hours, I'm going to cook it in 5 to 6.
And I would love to know how.
And I'll tell you right now. And I'm going to do some tomahawk steaks on the searing station by Humphreys Smokers.
Searing station by Humphreys.
All right,
okay.
So how does this brisket, how many pounds is brisket going to be? Is it going to have a lot of fat? Not a lot of fat. What is this, how are you going to start this? How are you going to do, what's the hot, just what's happening in ham life right now?
That is a lot of layered questions. You keep doing this.
She's crushing me. All right, she
The
wants
executive
to know.
producer is going to put a stop to you.
I know what she means.
Okay.
Let me try to bullet point this, because it's strangely enough, I ramble more on podcasts than I do anything else.
It's all right. Boss man won't get mad at us at this point.
Basically,
He's talking about me.
I'm cooking full packer briskets, which means the point and the flat, which means you'll see one side rise up and it'll look kind of like a mound, and the other, flatten out a little bit. And that's the pack muscle on one side or the other, basically, on a cow. And the point is you're fattier, tastier, gonna be juicier. That's gonna survive more abuse. The flat is it's usually leaner, doesn't have as much fat.
Okay.
And and if you have to properly make sure you slice both pieces, or you'll just destroy it. So, cooking. A lot of people go and you can get just a flat.
Yeah.
Which means it's going to look like a flat. It's going to say brisket.
That's probably most popular.
Yeah, and that's the easiest thing for people to get. So, I mean, I try to get the whole thing just because you get the fatty in. We cut things off that and make different things from it, like what's called burnt ends and things like that.
Yeah.
And it's just gorgeous. Done right, it's just gorgeous. So I subscribe to the kind of just original Texas brisket because that's what I originally started eating. What I
love Texas brisket.
What I left out of a lot of this was that I lived in New Mexico for like 5 years and toured in a blues band and ate a lot of barbecue. And so I sampled a lot of places and developed my kind of taste for what I liked. And really, Texas brisket was the only thing I liked. It's very hard to get good Texas brisket in Texas alone. But that's what I subscribe to, is salt and pepper Texas style brisket, cooked with as much wood flavor as you can. So as far as like the hot and fast brisket, you can cook this on a Weber 22. You can do it. I'm not sure if you can do this on a pellet. I've never seen it or heard about it. Maybe you can, nor do I care. But you can do it on a side-by-side, a stick smoker. You can do it on a Weber. You can do it on a Kamado. But you're cooking at a hotter temperature, obviously. So the technique is get the brisket to room temperature. You flip it over. You trim. Cut the decal, which is a big fat piece that's in there that's just never going to render. Then you cut a ton of the fat off not a ton, but you try to get it down to about a 1/4 inch or less around there of fat on the fat side. You can't have too much, because then you're just never going to render that shit off of there, and it's going to be a big old mess under your brisket. Then salt and pepper, and the thing sits for like 30 minutes, between 10 and 30 minutes, and I'm cooking at 350 degrees instead of typically 220.
Right.
To 220 to 270. I'm cooking at 350, and sometimes a little higher. It could go from 325 to 370, and what you're doing is getting that right about to 165, which is close to your stall. Then I wrap in butcher paper. There's something called the Texas crutch, where people wrap in aluminum foil. They add a lot of beef stock and other things. A lot of people do a lot of injections. And honest to God, I've tested all. You don't need all that to get a good product. Now that might make a better product, and I'll get there. But right now, I'm trying to make a good product with just what you can do at home, which is a damn brisket, salt and pepper, and some paper. So you wrap the brisket. I don't add anything to that brisket when I wrap it. Wrap it really good, like triple wrap it. Put it back on the way you had it. Fat point kind of towards the heat, and I use a snake method in the grill, which is along the edge. The coals burn in a chain. And I do kind of maneuver a little bit so it shifts a little bit. It's getting, a little mix of temperature. So after about 3 hours, which is where it hits about 165, you wrap it. It wraps for about 2 hours. And then what you're doing is really testing for that flat. When you go to the flat and you poke an instant read thermometer like this, when you poke this through the flat of a brisket, it should feel like a jar of peanut butter, almost. It should be close to that. In other words, it should slide in not too tough, And you kind of know as a cook, a chef, a baker, all that. All that. And some people also pull between, say, like 198 to 208, or 201 to 208 or something. Some people have a temperature range. I do pay attention to that, but the feel is more important. Okay. And once the flat gets tender, the point is it's already good to go. You're all set with that in. So you wrap it 3 times. After we reach that point, which in the hot and fast is usually about 5.5 hours, take it off the grill, and I put it into a cooler. Now this cooler I have brought into the house and sat in front of my heater here in the winter, at least, to pop the lid, and I heat the cooler.
A regular cooler. Then I boil hot water in the tea kettle and fill it about a third of the way with hot water to get this thing
up to temperature. Because outside, remember, it's like 15 degrees, 20 degrees.
Right.
So I get the grill, I get the cooler very warm, so it's not shocking to the meat.
Right.
So the meat doesn't do anything. The juices don't go in another direction.
Right.
So once I take it off the grill, I wrap it in a towel, just a regular old towel.
Wow.
Rest it in the cooler, shut it. Bring it back in the house. In the winter, in the summer you don't have to. And then it rests in the cooler for 2 to 3 hours.
Wow.
And honestly, you could take it out 3
Why
hours.
does this... You're saying hot and fast, but this doesn't seem very fast.
Okay, so that's 7 and 7 hours. In 7 hours, I'm slicing a 13-pound brisket.
So you leave...
That would take
you're
1 to
slicing
1
it,
1/4 hours per pound.
So you're slicing it from the cooler? You don't have to put it back on anything?
No, once it comes out of the cooler at 2 to 3 hours, it's hot as balls.
Wow. Really?
Oh, yes. It is.
Huh.
That's the thing is like when everyone's so scared. First, people are scared to... people cook sometimes their meat too long, especially chicken.
Yeah.
And then they're scared to rest their meat.
Right.
Like, I don't want a cold steak. Well, steak's sometimes different. But everything else, man, if you do it proper and let it rest, believe me, the carryover is tremendous. It's going to take a long time.
So what is a typical rest for like just a chicken breast?
A chicken breast, I would let rest at least 5 to 8 minutes.
Wow.
Just to chill for a minute.
Okay.
Yeah.
Pork and beef longer. Mm-hmm. But brisket, 3, 5. I swear to God, I haven't done it. I guarantee you, because I have done it with pulled pork. I've cooked pulled porks multiple, put them in coolers, pulled them things out 4 hours later, wrap properly, and are hot as hell.
You're wrapping it in a towel?
So for the brisket, I keep it in the paper. I never unwrap it.
All right.
You never unwrap it and check the paper when you're doing the brisket. You do
All
it.
right.
The needle through it is bad enough because you have to punch through like 3 layers of paper.
Yeah.
It's really hard to read. But you leave that wrapped in a towel in the cooler. With pork butts, same process. I would wrap it with aluminum foil, which in brisket is they call the Texas Crush, and Texas Crunch. But you end up boiling your meat in water when you do that with a brisket. You don't want to boil your beef.
Right.
That's why I do the paper. But with pulled pork, you can still keep a crust, which is the object of the brisket, is to keep crust.
Right.
You can still keep a crust with pulled pork, but that thing can sit in the cooler and still be 140, 145 degrees in a regular cooler.
Really?
In the summer. For 4 hours sometimes.
Wow.
So it's interesting to test that, and see how long things can sit. And I got to tell you, it's the pulled pork and the brisket I've done with really long rests always turn out tremendous.
Wow.
Always turn out really good.
So what's your favorite meat to cook, smoke, any of that?
It was ribs for a long, long time.
Yeah. Is it because it's easier? It's faster?
No, it's because I've made like really good ribs at times I was very proud of, and I've always been chasing, like trying to do something different, make something slightly, different grill, different wood, different like lump charcoal, different chips, like trying all kinds of stuff. So I'm always experimenting with ribs. Ribs are easy to experiment with.
Right.
And then I'll eat like one rib. Out of like 3 racks.
Honestly,
everybody knows that I don't even eat much barbecue when I make it.
Right. Well, that's like when people cook, they don't eat
done.
what they just don't want to.
Have a bite,
Yeah.
But the brisket, I'm like, I'll eat that shit for 3 days straight.
Yeah.
I eat it every damn day.
So why?
And it reheats well in a pan.
Right.
Slice it cold from the fridge, pop it in a skillet, give it like a minute on each side on a hot skillet, boom, make a sandwich.
So why can, like in the summer, why can we not do like a rib off, right? Because there's been things that Joey goes to.
Can it be an Alicia Unleashed sponsored rib off?
Yeah. I mean, like the last time you guys did a homiecast on eating the roast beefs and nobody knew where it came from. Why can't we do ribs blind rib contest? Because there's so many of you.
I'd like to know why they did a homiecast like rib meat like food off, and it wasn't actually food that the boys made.
No,
in general.
It's never been
Bustin' balls up in here. Girl.
I mean, why can't we do that? So
2019, I'm coming for throats.
Everyone's doing their
Roadhouse, bitch.
In the house, nobody knows what's coming through, and then we can. Why isn't this happening yet? What is this?
I'm coming.
We need to have this because there's so many.
Okay, we've talked. Joe and I have thrown around doing a barbecue contest for years, doing something Stage 4 Park. We're gonna do something.
Gonna do a
Too big.
GMG.
Why don't we
I
just
think
do it
we do.
within-
I would say
yeah,
let's
why
do
don't we
our
just-
thing.
yeah,
Do
why
a
don't we just
GMG
do it?
summer off.
Yeah,
Let's do.
yeah.
Let's do a rib off or.
Yeah,
A
why can't
GMG
it just
summer
be-
off.
It doesn't have to be like a million
I
people.
got it. We're gonna call it Smoke That Ass.
Yeah.
We're gonna call it Smoke That Ass.
Write that down on my digital notebook.
Smoke That
Smoke
Ass.
that ass.
And you can be the first sponsor. We will throw a contest this spring.
Spring.
This spring.
You want a cornhole
Like-
tournament? I know some people.
Oh
Or
yeah.
Actually, maybe May or June. May's getting tough. I'll tell you about that.
May's
Maybe
cool.
going to the World Barbecue Championship
Oh.
in Memphis. Memphis in May,
Whoa.
which is the World Championship.
That's hot.
As the patio cooker category,
What?
which is the amateur category.
Whoa.
Okay.
So, are you part of Kansas? Was it
Kansas City. Oh, Kansas City Barbecue.
Oh, let's
Society.
talk about Kansas City barbecue.
I've been looking at that stuff because my man makes some good barbecue, and I used to be in cooking competitions. So I think
What is this accent?
I think that
What
we
is-
need to be
what
going.
is this
That's what
accent
I
right
think.
here?
Reach behind you on that hook there, sweetie pie.
Okay.
See that thing hanging up there? No, underneath the hats. Keep going. We'll get this straight real quick here. I need
Let's go.
let's bring this over
Hold
here
on.
for me.
Hold on. Right here.
There we go. Let's just get that. Not too close. Don't scare the people.
That's okay. There's like 6 of them.
All right, 5 of them.
Oh,
Let me
wow. Wow.
Let me just get. There we go. Now, I'm sorry. You had a question.
Wow. You are a certified
Barbecue
judge. Wow. How'd
Otherwise known as a CBJ.
that happen?
CVJ.
I'm a Kansas City certified
how'd that
barbecue
happen?
judge. So I had to go to a class.
Oh, Caitlin.
I had to get.
Caitlin's on.
Oh, Caitlin.
Oh,
Come on in, girl.
Kate's on.
So,
oh no.
yes,
oh no.
as has to be a certified barbecue judge, you have to take a class.
Did Craig shave his head?
Yes, I did. in a memory of Tom Brady's last game. So anyways, yes, I had to take a class, which is actually a 1-day class,
Okay.
about a 6-hour class, and then you take a test and you judge some food, and they really don't judge how you judge the food, but you have to learn all these processes and stuff.
Okay.
And so yes, I know what to look for.
She calls you a sexy mofo.
Pulled pork, ribs, brisket, and barbecue chicken.
So, is that a
Yes.
one-up on your competition if you want to go? Are you allowed to compete, though?
Oh yes, I can
Yourself.
compete.
So now
Oh, yes.
you can compete, but know what they're looking for.
Yes, I've already judged a contest.
You have?
Yes, I judged my first contest
Where is this?
back in Maine, the Great Maine Barbecue Challenge. That's not anywhere identified on my lanyard. But no, I judged my first contest, and then at that contest, I was filming with Ted. We're doing barbecuing,
Yeah.
and so I asked permission on. So the barbecue contests have 2 days usually. On the Saturday would be like a local or a separate barbecue contest, including a lot of the same teams. And then the Sunday is the Kansas City Barbecue Society, the KCBS, the big dog, the one that matters to where people, compete and actually make a bunch of money.
Right.
Or not say a bunch, they make some money back for what they spend. I'm also a member of NEBS,
Yes.
New England. What used to be New England, now it's the Northeast Barbecue Society.
Yeah.
Which I shouldn't say with a Southern accent. But so the Northeast Barbecue Society, I'm now a board member. I'm on the board.
And
Recently
they have an
elected.
amateur coming up in August.
What is your
Yes,
accent
they do.
too? What is
That's
this?
right, they have a state contest.
Hannah, are you hearing
Have a
this?
state
In
contest.
August.
What is
Yeah.
happening here?
And I was
SEC
thinking about
contest.
that one because that one's amateur too, and that's what you.
SCA
you-
contest.
Sorry,
coming up.
we got a question coming from the live feed. There is a man by the name of Joe who wants to know, how do you tenderize your balls?
Is that last name Shimataro, perhaps? I'm just trying to guess.
Maybe. Kansas City, you mean Kansas City Chiefs, that team? No.
Here we go.
That's
on your
Caitlin.
face.
That's
Joe
Caitlin.
already
Yeah.
knows how to tenderize
Yeah, he
balls.
knows. Joey
Yeah.
knows about tenderizing.
Joey
the
knows
balls
all about
already.
how to tenderize those balls. Yes, he
That's
does.
what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So,
They hang low, Joey, because you know how to tenderize them.
So actually, the reason why I got certified is last year I went to Memphis in May, and I ended up running into and getting to interview Malcolm Reed from How to Barbecue Right, one of my favorite guys on YouTube. And I asked his advice in the interview, and I said, hey, I'm going to launch a barbecue channel. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, and eventually I'm going to compete what do you suggest that, what should I do? What should I do to launch into going from, like everyone does, from a backyard guy who everyone's like, hey, I love your food, to going and seeing if you can swing with, other teams. And he said, I would take some judging classes, become a judge, and judge some contests.
That's smart.
And find out what people are
looking for, and what they're cooking, and what they're looking for. Because if you're going to do that, it makes so much sense. So that's an awesome tip.
Now, I got to tell you, it's even though people go and get certified, some of these people never cook barbecue in their lives.
That's weird.
And that's the truth.
And that's so crazy.
And that's fine. We want people like that. We want just a variety. But I learned so much in one contest. Now, I've been to several, but I judged one. And I went back and you can look at, you can go and see how, you rank as a judge versus other people. Was I a little tight? Was I a little too, stingy about my points, that sort of thing, compared to the people at my table, and that sort of thing. And then you'll find out that you'll score something that, for instance, I was at a contest that I had a brisket that tasted like it fell off a truck and got run over, and then got somehow burned and then delivered to me, and it was horrible. And then I found out that somebody talking to somebody at that table told me how much they enjoyed it, and I felt like you don't belong here. Though.
No, the palate sucks. What's happening?
But that's just it. You have it. So no matter who you are and what you do and how good you are also dealing with people like me and other people that whether they're barbecue fans, gurus, pit masters, fanatics, or just or we love to do this. This is what we do for our vacation. That's what you get. You get the variety. So I had those people at my table in my first contest, and I had someone that was a couple that was married, and their father-in-law all became they're all just backyard people, and they decided to become judges. Never competed, and we're doing their 50th contest.
Wow!
And they decided we might start competing, and I thought, scared of you. You've done 50. You've judged 50 contests.
Right. So
I am scared of your ass because you know what's out there,
right?
And you know what you like, and you know what.
Yeah.
See, everything's blind, so you don't know whose food you're tasting, and you don't know who. How that works.
That's what we're doing. Is Joey still on this?
No, he's snoring. According to Caitlin.
Well, Caitlin.
Joe says Craig can have his Weber's, but Caitlin wants a breakfast burrito with your guacamole. For free. Go get them.
I will make her one.
Joe says Craig can have his Weber's for free. Go get them.
Craig can have his Weber's.
That's what Caitlin says.
So
all of Joey's Weber's.
We're going to do a smoke that ass. And I know you like that. Smoke that ass contest. And we're
Joey's sleeping, so Caitlin's in charge.
I'm telling Kate. Okay. Kate, I'm telling you, we're going to have a contest, Smoke That Ass, in the spring, summer, and we're going to have all the guys smoke their asses, or something to that effect, and then we have to taste it.
I mean, isn't it already their asses smoked in the summer? I mean, it's a little swamp ass, so
Swamp ass, Swamp Ass World Championships this summer. No, we can do it here. We'll do it in the backyard. We'll figure out a place.
We'll do it.
It's just gonna be us. I think that's what
Shimataro compound with the Weber family.
How many people do you have watching, by the way?
There's according to this right now, there's 2, but there's also my sister-in-law. There was DeWolf earlier. Says fuck you bitches.
So much love.
Oh, hi Bethany. My hubby makes a mean brisket.
Oh, what's up?
Jay McNichol. What up, Jay and Bessie? By the way, Bethany, I'm 37 now.
I like those 2 people.
They're awesome.
Yes, they're great. Sweet Cap Craig Kimberley says Kate. Yes. Yes.
Bam.
So.
Awesome. So, I mean, we've been on this for 2 hours now.
Our live feed has been almost 50. We're at an hour on the live feed.
Boom.
We are
one boring hour of me talking.
No.
1:38:58 on the podcast, but we're not done yet. Oh, we're at 12. Oh, apparently, so we're at 12. I don't know because the internet's jacked up here. We're at the Hill. We're at Lanesville. So, Craig.
Things that people should own.
Craig, you are making a brisket on Sunday. Sunday's Super Bowl. But there's a certain apparel that you must wear on Sunday, Craig, because you are not a Patriots nation.
No, I'm not.
So, Craig, could you please display to us what you are wearing?
So because of a horrible bet, I'll be wearing this shirt with me riding on Tom Brady's shoulders.
That's pretty amazing.
And who was that made by?
Rick Dowsett made it. Well, actually, Joey made the artwork and Rick Dowsett made the shirt.
And Kate would like to know, do you rub your breasts before or after the brine?
Yeah, he knows the answer. So yes, this is what I'll be rocking this Super Bowl.
Are you going to be rocking that all next season too?
Maybe.
Maybe you have to.
Well, if the Pats win the Super Bowl, then the bet is off and I don't have to wear it all next year at every single game that we go to.
Oh, really? It's just if the Pats...
If the Pats win, I'm off the hook. If the Pats don't win, I have to wear that every time we watch a game at
Well, the Pats
Mr.
are
Sister's
going to win.
house.
By the way, Kate says that you need to cut the nipples out of that shirt. So.
I've already planned on it. She should listen to the podcast.
That is true. We did, so she needs to listen back tomorrow in the first 38 minutes.
That's right. So we talk about accessories.
Slide in.
Yeah, you've been out of the focus for like the last hour and a half.
That's,
so there's
that was
that.
meant to be.
Fuck your face. How about that?
Accessories. Like there are a lot of things that you can buy. Like you had shown one of your thermometers, but what are and then that there's things that you put charcoal in to get that. I'm really going
chimney, yes.
the chimney. So there's some things that you really kind of need to know to get started. But I mean, you probably watch. So what are those things?
There's tons of stuff that you need as far as like charcoal grill. But what I would say like I would say the first three things you really need to have is I pulled a couple down here. Instant read thermometer.
Yeah.
This is one made by Javelin, and it'll read the room instantly. We are 70 degrees. That's how quick it reads as soon as I opened it. It also flips to wherever you flip it to. The thermometer changes its screen. Then you can hit that and you can light it up. So this is like $50. This thing's fantastic. And then there's a step up from this is Thermapen. And Joey actually recently gave me one, and it's like about $100. It's a really nice one, and it's super heavy duty, super waterproof. But Javelin, really good stuff.
Wait, let's talk about thermometer for a quick second.
Instant read.
Instant read. Do you want one that stay in the meat in the grill?
No, this is instant reads are strictly to you go up to probe the meat on the spot and go.
Yes.
Let me see what that's at. Now I do have thermometers that you put in, and then you have transmitters and receivers, and you check it.
Like for a brisket, because you want to know if it stalls.
Yeah,
you want to know where it is. So do you do that for the brisket?
For certain meats, for the brisket, it depends. Depends on if you're doing a short cook. I mean, you could put it on any brisket, I guess. You're also reading your grill at all times. So I always have a thermostat inside the grill, basically a probe inside the grill, going to a transmitter that goes to. I'll have something in the house or wherever I'm at.
Right.
Some people use the stuff where there's apps and it'll send it to your phone. If you're near your house and you get on the Wi-Fi, you can be anywhere remotely and check it.
Wow.
Depending on the app and stuff. But this is just instant. This is when you walk up and go, oh, I think that breast is done. Let me check. Okay. And then, a cheap one would take 15, 20 seconds. The idea about these instant read ones is the very tip is instant. It's like,
so the tip counts?
The tip does count. Just the tip.
Just the tip.
I mean, sometimes that's all they have.
So the other thing is tongs. Extremely heavy-duty tongs is what I recommend.
Because you don't want to touch anything inside the grill.
Well, cheap ones suck.
Right.
Really bad. Like, these are extremely heavy-duty. And, here, check them out. You can tell, you can pick up a 15-pound brisket if you have the hand strength with those things.
Yeah.
So, really, really strong tongs to me are
like those.
And a good spatula, but strong tongs, good thermometer. And a chimney for lighting your charcoal.
Yeah, so
that's the best way to light your charcoal.
Yeah. And I've seen that. And those those do not rust easily. Those are something that's durable. There's something that can be outside. Like, we have one. They will last a long time. So, what is the purpose of that?
Well, with the chimney, you can either throw newspaper in the bottom and light it, and that will start the charcoals. The design, because of the holes and the suction, it creates fast burning situation, whether it's briquettes or lump charcoal. And you can also buy like little paraffin wax things from like Weber. Green Egg makes little square ones that look like cardboard. Just in paraffin wax things, you can sit down and light, put the chimney on top,
right,
and it'll spark it. You're done. You're good to go. So it's really efficient. You don't have to use lighter fluid and all that crap. And a chimney will get your charcoal going in like 8 to 10 minutes, and then you can dump it, and then within 15 minutes you're grilling. Depending on how much charcoal.
Right.
And that's the idea, is like how quick for some people can you get grilling, and that's what keeps them from being charcoal home grillers. Is it takes too long. Well, no, it's literally,
right.
A pellet stove is going to take 10 minutes to get up to 10, 15 to get up the temperature, and you're not going to grill on it like you're going to grill on charcoal or anything else. And of course, smoking is a different scenario, but yeah, the chimney is actually a great start for if I'm going to smoke a chicken, like say in a pit barrel, where I have a basket at the bottom of a barrel, like a barrel drum. You will light half a chimney of charcoal, get it lit, you dump that onto the other charcoals, and that instantly lets your fire jump up to like 220.
Wow.
And then you go from 0 to some heat, and then once that gets steady, you got your wood chunks ready to go, and then you start smoking. So it's a pretty fast process. So the chimney could be fast for a Weber cooking burgers, fast to get your Kamado or your barrel drum ready to go to smoke ribs or brisket or anything else. And some people have even filled them up, got them you get them smoking hot, stuff them, get them wicked hot, and throw a grill right on top of the chimney and sear a steak.
Oh.
So you can use it for that too.
Okay.
So
awesome.
yeah, chimney, instant reed thermometer, good tongs, and then eventually all the other bells and whistles. But that's a must-have.
And what's your favorite charcoal?
For briquettes, right now, Weber makes an amazing briquette.
Okay.
Coincidentally, and I've tested probably 10, 15 of them. Weber makes a really, really good briquette, and B&B, which is not everywhere, they make a really good briquette. And that's really where I kind of stop between those two, is the only briquettes I use.
Right.
Some people use Kingsford, that's fine and whatever, but
Kingsford smokes a lot.
yeah,
It's too smoky and it's too
ashy.
Yeah.
But whatever. That's
yeah.
everybody's got their own opinions about briquette. But B&B has been outstanding. Like I said, Weber's outstanding. So pretty much that's all I've been using. And then for lump charcoal, I've tested a dozen of them, and honestly, a lot of them work pretty decent. It's really about the value of what's in the bag, because a lot of them burn pretty consistent.
Right.
I would say that the Green Egg actually burned really well, and I think I had B&B possibly. I can't remember now. I'll have to check, but most of them burn pretty consistent. But it's what's in the bag. Some of them are chuck full, like Western makes really good bags of hardwood lump charcoal, and it'll be chuck full. There'll be pieces that are this big. Just giant pieces of tree. Then you get other bags where it's like rubble at the bottom. So that video's coming out too. I have a 6-way lump charcoal video coming out in 2 weeks after the brisket video comes out.
Excellent. Awesome. Yay.
So there's a tidbit.
Yeah.
Nice.
So much happening. Yay. So excited. Yes. So where do we find you?
On YouTube, Barbecue It, BBQIT.
Yeah.
Instagram is BBQ It Show, Barbecue It Show.
Okay.
And YouTube, Facebook is Barbecue It.
Okay.
BBQ It.
Awesome.
So BBQIT pretty much everywhere.
Awesome.
And then Instagram, actually, I couldn't get Barbecue It for Instagram because someone had it, and all they do is sell one T-shirt.
Rude.
Yeah. And I think from like 8 years ago, it's just sitting there. It's a T-shirt.
Yeah, so you can't do it. Damn
get
it.
at me. So. And
Awesome.
then Twitter, Barbecue It.
And then okay, awesome. So you can get you on all of the social media platforms, which B-Side will set up and get all that. Link it. So thank you for everyone that has joined us live and listened to our podcast that B-Side is going to put together. And
shout out to the delegation.
there we go. Awesome. So thank you. Episode
89.
89 in the books. Bye.
Thanks for having. Let's drink.
I drank.
Let's drink!